Good morning. Today we are going to discuss one of the exciting assignment from class 10th and the topic heredity. Let us discuss one by one question. The first question here, how do parents pass on their traits to the seeds? So, first thing here, a pair of factors that are responsible for a character are called as genes. So, let us write the answer. So, let us write a pair of factors that are responsible for a character called genes. This is very important point that we will get repeated, what are the genes and all. Okay. So, here during the sexual reproduction, one of this factor comes from the each parent and it will be formed in the zygote. It will be appear in the zygote. So, one of each parental factors appears in zygote. So that's this zygote will develops into later as a seed. So here that's the way how the parents passes the traits to the seeds. So now you understand, I think so. Here a pair of factors that are responsible for a character are called as genes, and these factors will be during sexual reproduction. During this processes, each factors of the parents, male and the female, mother and the father, will becomes and join into the form and they appear in the zygote, and this will be develops as a seed, and that seed will be as a new plant. So the parental characters will be passes to that of seeds. Let us go for that of next question. So the next question is, what are the hypotheses, assumptions and outcomes of a Mendel experiment with the pea plants? So as we have discussed just now, a pair of factors which are responsible for a character are called as a genes. So here how do these new plants are getting their characters are comes from the seeds. So to seeds, how do these will get the characters from their parental plants. So according to this Mendel, the first assumption is a factor which is responsible for a character. Okay, so let us write that assumption 1. So a pair of factors that are responsible for a trait or a character. Okay. So assumption 2. Assumption 2 is nothing but here during the sexual reproduction, each of the parent will be passes their genes to that of offsprings. So each parent passes these factors to offspring. So assumption 3. Assumption 3 is in each parent it will passes that factors to the offspring or else a zygote. So how it will be goes to the top of one will be appears as a dominant over the other. So that is what the assumption 3. So one factor is dominant over the other. So for example, if you take that capital T which is responsible for a tall, okay. So whereas that small t which is responsible for a dwarf. So when these two parental characters which will be having that a pair of alleles that are responsible for a character is nothing but, as we have represented like this way, capital T is representation of that a factors. So that we can call it as alleles. From these two alleles, as one will be appears in the offspring generation. So both will be formed during the sexual reproduction. So capital T and the small t. So capital T and the small t. All 100% plants in the F1 generation, we will get that all dominant characters. Which is the dominant here? The tall is a dominant character. So according to the Mendel, as according to his assumptions, so the first he have explained that three laws. So one is a law of dominance. Here you can see that the alleles which are transfers from the parental characters, then that will be appears in the offspring. One is a dominant over the other. This law is called as law of dominance. When you see here, two alleles are there, means here two factors are there. Only one is segregating and it is appearing in the offsprings. That means here the two alleles are separating and one is appearing in the offspring. Okay, so this law is nothing but here randomly it is selecting a copy and it is transferring to that of offspring. That is nothing but law of segregation. And comes to the top when you are going for the top dihybrid cross, law of inheritance which is nothing but when inheritance of more than one pair, it will be assorted independently. You can see that example in the dihybrid cross. So that each and every F2 generation, you can see that capital R, capital Y, which are consisting of that only one character. It is independent to that of the other ones. So that is what law of independent assortment. So according to the Mendel laws, as three laws he have been explained to us for the how these genes are transferring from the one generation to other generation. So this is what about that his hypothesis, assumptions and outcomes of that Mendel's. Thank you. That's all for this assignment. Thank you.